Outside of a job, what do you do to make extra money that anyone can do? I'm poor but I participate in clinical studies for the NA as a healthy volunteer. Pay is pretty decent, $150 to $250 a session. And since I'm too poor to afford health insurance, it comes with the added benefit of providing me with free physicals and STD testing. Pretty sweet deal if you ask me, and for many of the studies you only need a functioning human body to qualify. I moonlight as a nude model for the local life drawing class. I originally freelanced for the local college, but since I'm currently taking one of the art programs, the only big requirement is you have to be okay being naked in a room full of strangers, and usually, you're the only one. The nice thing about this is A0, you're not expected to be a perfect specimen of the species. A good artist will want a variety of body types for reference. Plus it puts the whole having a nightmare about being naked at work in a whole new light. Being a 22-year-old that doesn't have much time for anything other than school and work, I house sit for people while they're out of town. You just have to go home to someone else's house for a while, and for me, I love it. I live in a tiny apartment and staying at an actual house with a full-sized kitchen is like a vacation that I get paid for. Sell 3D models. You would be surprised how much money you can make just by sitting down, learning how to use Blender, and selling models to game designers and animators. A friend of mine, high schooler, has been doing it a while and made $4,000 last month. I've started doing it a couple months ago and already have $500 in my PayPal. Use sites like TurboSquid to sell. Here in Spain, dog walking. I just moved here and miss my dog Dilly, staying with parents for next 8 months while I go to school. So I randomly messaged a dog walking FB page. Told them I would love to walk dogs for them once in a while. Met with the lady who started the company and she said 100% I can. I'm not under contract or anything, but whenever she is overwhelmed with dogs, she calls me. I take them for a walk for a couple hours and play with them. And she pays me 25 euros. She charges the customer 30 and keeps 5 as her commission. Honestly, I would have done it for free, but the extra money is cool for beer and food funds. I walk and play with a dog for a couple hours 3-4 times a week and make 80-100 euros for it. It helps me cope with missing my dog, and playing with dogs is just freaking awesome on its own. Just message some dog walking company on FB or whatever, and I'm sure they could use extra help. My sister lives near Disneyland and has a season pass. She takes people's orders for exclusive crap from the park and she goes there and picks it all up and uses that time to get her steps in for the day walking around and also making money getting stuff for people and then ships it to them. People will pay a lot of money for the Disney crap that you can only get in the park. Now this is obviously not possible for everyone, but build on this idea. If you live in an area with baller but thrift stores or good garage sales, buy some crap and flip it online. Disney has an app for that. I broke my Alice in Wonderland T-Press, downloaded the Disneyland Store app which lets you purchase items from the park, and had it shipped to me from the park. I've sold stuff on eBay, whether it was things lying around the house to actually going to flea markets and finding stuff to sell. Found a N64 with 10 games for $5. Sold one of the games for $27 alone. I'm a 23-year-old dude and I love going to yard sales and buying things then reselling them. The trick is to just buy things that interest you and slowly branch out to learn what certain things sell for. Computer repair. You'll be surprised how bad people are with these things and how much they are willing to spend to get their crap fixed. Life modeling. You might think you need to look a certain way, but for this kind of modeling, all you need to do is be comfortable holding naked poses while artists draw you. They like variety, so they're open to sketching just about anyone. Plus, even beginner models are paid fairly well, no less than $15 an hour. Had a friend that did this when we were all in college. The other guys would make fun of him until we all found out he was clearing $30 HR and $100 for 2.5 hours. When I was unemployed in NYC, I would go to the discount stores like Marshall's, TJ Maxx etc. and buy discounted luxury products such as Prada and Gucci handbags on my credit card. I would then come home and list them for sale on eBay, The opening bid would be whatever I paid, including tax. I would often make a nice 20-40% margin on reselling the item. If the item did not sell within a week, I would return it to the store for a full refund on my card. I also did this with Tickle Me Elmos at a time when they were the hot Christmas gift and stores around the US were running out. The margins were around 20-25%, but I would buy and sell 8-10 at a time. Those freaking Tickle Me Elmos. My mom bought like 20 of them and attempted to resell them on eBay and only sold like 5. Those freaking demon chucklers are still in the attic. If you drink Coca-Cola or Pepsi and such, keep the cans. A garbage bag worth of aluminum cans can be worth bringing to the scrapyard. Always return your beer and liquor empties. Make friends. Throw a house party. BYOB. Exchange their empties for profit afterwards. I paint. It's an incredibly dull thing that people hate doing. It's not hard. A steady hand and decent angled brush for cutting and you're pretty much good to go. I do other handyman things if needed except drywall. I do not have the talent for it. Anyone can paint. Bob Ross. 2 pro tips for anybody wanting to do this. 1. A computer repair business lets you write off kind of a ton of stuff. Open an LLC if you can swing it. Think you can drum up the business to cover the cost. 2. Charge a 1-hour minimum so you don't go out to a customer for an 5 minutes fix and only charge them a pro-rated price. I do $75 an hour in my area and I'm still undercutting most competition. Learn how to hem pants and skirts. It's really simple. When someone in the workplace says I need to get these pants hemmed, jump in and say I can do that. You can easily make an extra $20-30 per pair of slacks you hem. My mom did this for the junior ROTC club at my high school. I forget how much they paid her, but it was a decent amount of side cash for barely any effort. She loves to sew and is really good at it. I clean out foreclosed homes. I make on average $2,500 and take home for 3 or 4 days work. I take about 10 contracts a year. All you need to get started is whatever it costs to rent a dumpster. Donate plasma. BioLife will pay you $70 a week, sometimes more, to sit in a chair with a needle in your arm for an hour twice a week. Basic car maintenance service. You'll be surprised how many people in an apartment complex don't wanna change their own oil, patch a tire cause of a nail, alternator belt replacement, etc. Nowadays, open up an IRA and continue to invest in my 401k, gaining that interest and playing the long-term game. In college I used to donate plasma. You'll get paid like $100 for your first visit and $50 for every visit after that. Tutor Spanish students for cash. I also used to do audio transcriptions online. Someone sends you an audio file and you transcribe it for them and send it back. Mind-numbing work that paid decently. There are companies out there now that hire freelancers for this. In high school in the summers I would offer all my neighbors on my block to cut their grass for cheaper than the landscaping companies in the city. Could get a front yard and backyard done in an hour and would charge $20, $30 to do it. I used to go to my bank and order $10,000 in $half coins per week. I didn't need to have $10,000 on hand and wouldn't pick them all up at the same time. They just did shipments once a week. Each box had $500 worth of half dollars in it and I would usually pick up between 3-6 at a time. I would use my savings account to pay. I would go home and turn on Netflix and watch shows as I sorted through the coins to find silver coins. Each box would take about 15 meters of barely paying attention, which were, at the time, worth between 5-10x face value, which I would hold on the side before going to TD to cash in my coins for cash. Side note, having used those penny arcades to process about $200,000 in half dollars total, they are pretty accurate. I maybe lost $3 total over the entire process. I didn't have a TD account but my friend was the teller so we'd use his account. When I could fill a roll of coins I'd sell it for silver price and make money. I stopped when my bank stopped allowing me to do this. I was too small an account for them so they didn't want to please me that much. But I knew guys who made their living doing driving to many banks and would do this all day long. At the time silver prices were pushing $50 so it was pretty lucrative. I would also find some really cool old coins which I would sell to coin collectors if it was worth my time or just keep if I liked it enough. Found one in decent condition that was from 1802. This seems painstakingly tedious, but having Netflix on in the back probably helps a great deal. I pay people to cut my lawn, deep clean my house every couple months, do handiwork like mounting TVs, fixing small stuff, etc. Babysit, run errands. Companies pay people to shop for customers, buy groceries. Same thing. Grocery stores pay delivery drivers. All of those things can be done while maintaining a separate job and can be done part-time. You may not be able to mount TVs or finish basements, but anyone can at least work in delivery. 24-year-old here. My city has a massive geek community, and while I haven't started this, I will be hosting tabletop RPGs, board games, trading card games like Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon, and whatever else comes up. I found a place I can host that can easily fit over 100 people, and I charge a $5 entry fee per person. It's once a week and all I do is give people a place to play, organize groups for people without someone to play with, and occasionally purchase games and game supplies for people who don't have them. There's already a lot of interest from the community and I'm expecting around 100 people for opening night. Not me, but I met a girl who charges $30 an hour for whatever. She'll take your car to get the oil changed, she'll pick you up groceries, she'll go to your house to sign for a delivery or meet the HVAC guy, etc. As a student who rarely can afford to eat out at restaurants, I became a secret shopper. I get a $60 allowance usually. I get to go to specific restaurants in my city. I usually invite a friend. We get dressed up and make up a fake reason to celebrate, like an engagement or a new job, and he'll cover both of our meals up to the $60. Free dinner plus $10 for doing it. I've loved it during my schooling. Hey hun. I wanted to invite you to a great opportunity to sell makeup and crappy clothes to bored housewives and screw people over but not actually make any money. Arantimum. If you have a thick skin, referee or umpire X sports. Games are always outside of normal business hours since the players work too. I used to do soccer refereeing. I figured I was being paid to exercise and be yelled at. Use my credit card to buy things that I'm going to buy anyway and then paying it off before 30 days. Then I use the cash rewards to buy fun things. I am late for the upvote train, but I learned to do Solid Edge 3D drawing and AutoCAD 2D drawing. During free time I make metal constructions and production drawings. Also can make heat and ventilation system plans. Usually brings 3-4 more times in than my everyday job, but pay is under the table. Tutor children in something you are good at. Right now I tutor elementary kids in chess, get paid around $80 an hour. It helps with college costs and the flexibility in hours makes it a nice part-time gig. Another way is mining cryptocurrencies. I have made a nice amount of money just using my gaming laptop and desktop. It does increase your electricity bill, but I have come out ahead like $300 in the last 3 months. Do stuff yourself. When a guy showed up to my door and I paid $350 and waited a week for him to put a $50 heating element in my dryer, I finally said frick this, I can do it myself. Change your own tires, fix your own garage doors, repair your own dryers. YouTube videos can show you how to do everything under the sun. You'll save money and feel a sense of accomplishment. Careful with those garage door springs though. They are held under quite a bit of pressure and can kill you if you don't know what you're doing. Fix computers, both hardware and software. Computers are so highly modular nowadays, and there are so many tools to help clean them up in a software sense. Anyone can diagnose and fix a computer. I don't care how illiterate you think you are. It is not difficult at all, and you just don't charge much if you can't fix it. If they bring it to you for $30, $40 and you just run a cleaner or replace a part that they can buy, you will look like a wizard, and undercutting Geek Squad is incredibly easy. Taught myself stock, then options, then futures. It's fun and a good way to learn to manage money. Options will teach you very quickly that you suck at predicting things and you need to focus on a real job. If you have money, stock trading is one way. If you don't have money, but have a unique voice, audio scribe books for Amazon. Works out to like $25 an hour. If you don't have money, don't have a unique voice, but are good at something, YouTube channel. One client of mine owns several channels and a chick that does makeup tutorials for him brings in $50k a month. If you don't have money, don't have a unique voice, and don't have a talent, but have a truck, see what mentals you can collect and sell. Aside from copper, there is some money in driving around looking in ditches and hauling scrap to the scrapyard. If you don't have money, don't have a unique voice, don't have a talent, and don't have a truck, but have a car, try driving for Uber or Lyft. I know a dude who is an investment banker, but because he's single and has nothing better to do, drives for Uber just to meet people. If you don't have money, don't have a unique voice, don't have a talent, don't have a truck, and have a car but are socially awkward, meteorite hunting can bring in cash as museums and scientists are always looking out for these. If you don't have money, don't have a unique voice, don't have a talent, don't have a truck, and don't have a car, escort, if such activity is legal in your area. Become a famous YouTuber is like get noticed by Hollywood and become a movie star. I post pictures of myself wearing contacts lenses on Instagram and get commission every time someone uses my promo code. In addition to doing food deliveries for Uber, I drive through rich neighborhoods on trash night and take stuff that people throw away. Last week, I found 2 kids scooters in great condition and I sold them on the Facebook marketplace for $25. I think you stole 2 kids scooters. Ref high school sports. Seriously, it cost about $50 to get licensed, but there is a huge shortage of referees right now. I pull in $55 per game for basketball and $80 for soccer. Easiest sport to ref ever. Just be a side ref. If you know sports and don't care about people, I can't stress how easy this stuff is. Sell your own artwork on Etsy. Seriously, anyone can do it. I'm a hobby painter and have been selling 1-2 paintings a week for a few years now. Find what people love and capitalize on it. This is somewhat late and more relevant to my area, Texas, but my co-worker and I build chicken coops, garden beds, etc. Usually out of scrap wood, and it brings enough beer money for a fun weekend project. Spend a day learning how gold and silver are stamped marked, then go and sift through yard estate garage sales. Also, try to keep a calm demeanor and straight face when you go to pay the $2 for the nice, heavy ladle with 9k stamped into it. Tip: carry cash. It's been mentioned, but flipping stuff from CL Facebook Marketplace. I've got 4 cars so far this year and more than doubled my money on each one. Some states have laws about how many you can sell, so keep that in mind or be prepared to do some slightly shady stuff if you want to do it regularly. Selling power tools from yard sales you steal for $10 to $50 for $200 to $300 is quick money. But sometimes you can get video game systems or TVs audio from people desperate to sell fast at whatever cost. I always negotiate, so I can buy even lower than low and then post it for about all the money I think I can get. Free section on CL can have some decent stuff if you are fast and keep your eyes open. Reselling high-end clothing from Goodwill can make you a couple extra bucks a week too. I had a friend who had 2 jobs and a huge route delivering flyers on top of all that. He would fill his car packed full of flyers and I never understood how he had time to deliver them all. But one day he told me that he just got the route, threw all of them in the recycling. His boss told him about 10 addresses that complained they didn't get them. So he repeated recycling them all and just delivered to the 10 people who cared about receiving them. Victimless crime in my books because frick junk mail. If you have a decent understanding of written English, which you should if you pass 3rd grade, you can pull in a few extra dollars by doing either freelance writing or contract by contract editing. See, the internet made it possible for anyone with a computer to start offering their work to the world. But you'd be surprised by how many of those folks misuse apostrophes, mix up homophones, like mix up and mix up, for example, or write as though they are using text as a surrogate for speech. Their failings can be your gain, though, because there are a number of sites and businesses that employ people to clean up those mistakes. Some of them will even offer one-time fees for longer projects, which, while still being fairly modest sums, can add up to a nice chunk of change if you do enough of them. There are 2 caveats to this. First and foremost, it's important to avoid the sites that pay on a per view basis. These are outlets which accept submissions from just about anyone, but don't offer any kind of initial compensation. More often than not, they're being run by entities who don't want to pay for content, and who also expect their writers to do their own marketing. Following from that, there are also sites which trend dangerously close to being unethical in their practices, like those which employ people to write term papers. Anyway, if you can weed through the scams and the questionable platforms, and if you have a functioning keyboard, you can easily pull in a couple $100 extra in a week, all from doing something that any grade school student could. Very little of the content will be interesting to you, granted, but you can work from home without putting on pants, so that's a definite plus. TLDR. Freelance writing and editing gigs are easy, available, fairly lucrative, and doable while naked. First and foremost, it's important to avoid the sites that pay on a per view basis. FTFY, that'll be $10 please. 4. Collect and sell metal and items any recycling center pays for. Can pay big with heavier scrap metal left at abandoned sites. Find a collectible that is always everywhere at flea markets and become well versed at spotting what is a good deal and rare, and what's not worth it and common. I sold a 50-cent first edition book for $100 once, and a $2 German rabbit figurine for $40. Check auctions, estate sales for deals on large lots of valuables. Also buy items kids like in bulk and sell for profit at any big community event with lots of kids like stuff going on around 4th of July or Halloween. Bought light up fidget spinners in bulk, $40 for 24 of them, and kids went crazy for them on 4th of July weekend at various outdoor events and sold them for $5 each. Better off financially? I live in a rural area in a Midwestern state where you can purchase a 2-3 bedroom house for $7,000 to $10,000 for a fixer-upper, or a nice move-in ready one needing little to no work for $20,000 to $30,000. If you have savings and live in a larger city and much more expensive area where these prices seem batshit insane, invest. Come to redneck country. Buy a little place. Rent it out for $250 to $600 plus month depending how big or nice it is. Carefully choose renters though so as not to get stuck with taking squatters to court to evict them. Then go back home to your expensive non-redneck city and get an extra few $100 a month in the mail from redneck land. If repair issues come up, be sure to get photos and keep home repair ads handy from redneckland to compare rates, or offer breaks in rent for the handy resident who can fix it themselves. Reading this thread makes me feel like crap. I just don't have any drive to do any of these things. Frick, I need to see a therapist. eBay. Use EstatSalesNet and AuctionsEap.com to check out the local sales. Go early for the best selection and at the end for the best deals. For estate sales, I've been a power seller for years through college and still am now, though barely, during my full-time job. It's good to have something to specialize in, camera equipment for myself, and to just have an idea of what to look for. My favorite find throughout all of these years has been a Nikon 6mm f5.6. One of the rarest lenses produced, and that was just from pulling a quick turn into a sale I saw while driving home one day. Finds like this are not common at all, but they are definitely possible. A few other notable ones for me include a bollocks set for $100 that sold on eBay for $800, an accordion purchased for $35 that sold for $750, and a naval signal gun purchased for $25 that sold for $500. I've been doing odd jobs for people for over 10 years now. I started in high school mowing lawns, house pet sitting, and the like. I still do that a bit, but I've moved on to other types of housework, mostly simple repairs. I've leveraged my customer service job to build a network of people more wealthy, with enough money to pay people to do these tasks, than I am who know that I'm trustworthy. It doesn't bring in much money, on average about $300 mo, but I've had months where I made over $1,000. The real benefit is that it takes up my spare time and keeps me off the couch and off bar stools. Plus I now have a great rep in my community as a kind, helpful, trustworthy person, and that makes me feel good. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.